Conference, this amendment improves the original motion and it updates it in light of the white paper published in February. The motion draws attention to the desperate crisis in provisions from learners with special education needs and disabilities. Statistics show that more and more children have SEND, but this does not reflect more widespread impairments, differences or medical conditions amongst children apart from the impacts of COVID. Rather, underfunding means that more and more children's needs are becoming special. A well-funded school system would be able to meet every learner's need, but we don't have a well-funded school system. Think of school as a harbour, kids as boats and funding as the tide. The further the tide goes out, the more boats are left stranded. The more kids have to ask for extra support. If the government wants to reduce the number of kids getting EHCPs, then it needs to increase the standard level of help that all children get. But it's not doing that. Instead, our government responds to rising demands by trying to disqualify more kids from getting help. The Health Secretary has commissioned an inquiry into whether ADHD is being overdiagnosed. He announced this shortly after the government's own ADHD task force reported that ADHD is actually underdiagnosed and undersupported. When this government doesn't get the answer it wants from an inquiry, it simply sets up another inquiry in the hope of getting the right answer. Conference, the Disabled People's Movement insists on nothing about us without us. So it was disappointing that the motion calls on the union to work with various bodies, but not with SEND students, Disabled People's Organisation, or even its own disabled members. This amendment corrects that. The motion also tells the union to work with charities without distinguishing between those which are genuine allies and those which perpetuate a pity myth about disabled people. This amendment corrects that as well. The white paper uses fine words about inclusion of SEND kids, but its content will not deliver that. The government is right to advocate that SEND children be included in mainstream schooling, but the measures that could make that happen are absent from the white paper. Instead, it rejigs terminology, cuts entitlements, and offers inadequate funding. It will limit education, health and care plans, EHCPs, to children with only the undefined, most complex needs by 2035. Most SEND children will move on to individual support plans, ISPs, and unlike EHCPs, ISPs will not be legally enforceable. The government has also slipped into the white paper an expectation that all schools will become part of an academy trust. Conference, academies exclude significantly more SEND pupils than non-academy state schools do. They cannot be trusted to improve the education of pupils that they are plainly not interested in educating. Conference, we need radical change, including much smaller classes, accessible buildings and equipment, an end to one-size-fits-all high-pressure tests and exams, a curriculum that lets children learn through their own interests rather than a restricted list of topics, more education workers with better pay and conditions, scrapping academies rather than extending them, making schools accountable through democratic local structures rather than Ofsted, and bringing private SEND institutions into public ownership. The energy shown by SEND campaigners combined with a battling response from education unions can expose the failings of this white paper and push the government into yet another retreat. Please vote for this amendment.